Hey everybody, welcome welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah Catherine and this is Leah Sees Movies, back again with episode 3 of Loki on Disney Plus. And I talked a lot in the end of the last episode about how much I like this episode, so I'm gonna try to keep it short, but I'm really excited. Last episode really sold me. I just thought it was super funny and interesting and well paced and well scored. And yeah, I'm down and I'm really excited for this episode, and so to not waste too much time, let's get started. I'm still a little disappointed in that holding out for a hero fight scene, because a fight scene set to holding out the hero should slap, and it didn't really. It was kind of dark and hard to see, and I couldn't tell the people were dying until I went back to edit. So the action is not the best part of the show, I will say. I don't know, I find it so hard to believe that these mythical timekeepers, the, purveyors of truth, the all knowledgeable people who know how the timeline is supposed to go, how everything is supposed to go, and they're just like in a room.
We could do potato skins,
okay,
or buffalo fingers, or we could eat somewhere else.
Wait, is that?
You hate this place?
That's the lady Loki. Is this all happening in her head?
So it permeates the roof of your mouth and freezes the synapses in your brain, so your memories are literally.
I'm like so suspicious. I'm assuming that this is what happens when she like gets in their head. She like convinces them that we're best friends, and this is how she like got the information about the timekeepers. She's like, no, we're best friends, you can tell me.
Okay, ask. How many people are guarding the timekeepers?
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
I have so many questions about their personalities. What's the point of them having a personality if they're basically just drones?
So why won't you tell me how many people are guarding the timekeepers?
And it's gonna be like another time shift.
I don't know you. It's okay.
Hey, good for her.
I'm just tired. She
is the lead hunter of the team or whatever. She should be able to resist some mild mental manipulation.
How do I find the elevators? They're gold.
Yeah. Come on, Hunter C20. You were doing really good. I will say, if she has Loki's powers, I'd at least put the Minutemen suit on. Just, to avoid anyone being like, hey, I don't know, who are you? Oh, no magic. So you didn't know that. You knew it. Oh, also, no magic, so it wouldn't have worked. But you can still steal a uniform the old-fashioned way and just, like, wear it. Okay, this Loki has way better fighting skills than traditional Loki. You're allowed to kill as many people as you want as long as there's no blood. So she already said, oh, I have no interest in taking over the TVA, like whatever, but she still wants to find the timekeepers. I said this last episode, like maybe there's something where it's like, no, the timekeepers are lying to you, like there is not one sacred timeline. They're restricting the multiverse or something, so I gotta take them out. Really? I mean, I respect a girl with hands, but the two people guarding the elevators to the timekeepers, and they can't fight. Like, magic doesn't work. So you guys need to be able to fight hand to hand, like, impeccably. And
you are my way.
All they can do is like a bit of light blocking with the baton and then immediately die. That's embarrassing.
Whether you come willingly.
Loki, you can't fight. Okay, actually he did beat Valkyrie that one time. But like for a second. Hey, come on.
Come any closer and I'll
So?
Go for it.
Yeah, why would that stop me? Disappointed. I was like, Renslayer, you're like the head of the TV, the judge. You're gonna know how to fight. You're gonna do something interesting. But just swipey swipey. Just
goodbye.
Brute force. Also, they're on AA? Really? The detective. Oh, magic. We can detect variants, erase them, see screwed up things in space, but they run on Energizer.
So you're just fully a magician then?
Fine.
Yeah, so she said...
Is that one of your powers?
Where did you send us?
She said, you're just fully a magician then, so this Loki has to be able to fight because she doesn't have the same abilities. Seems like the mental manipulation seems to be her most obvious one, as well as passing on her mind into other hosts. Okay, this is Marvel Doctor Who though. Like, we all accept that, right?
The moon that planet is about to crash into and destroy!
Well, did you come
The
here?
apocalypse is saved on that temp. This is the worst! No one makes it off here!
Okay, so people do make it out of these apocalypses, because it didn't make sense to me. There's people with no survivors. Because she even said, like, this one, no one makes it off.
It blows up and then I end up blown up. There!
So we're a team now?
Oh God, no!
There's never a bad time for teamwork in the apocalypse.
What are you doing?
Oh, is she trying to get in his head?
You're trying to enchant
Yeah.
me? It won't work.
Why? Because you're a magician.
No, because my mind is too strong.
Fine.
Or we could just slaughter each other here in this abandoned mining shack. What do you say?
Good for me.
She's unpleasant. I love it.
It was years in the making.
Although you didn't know they didn't have magic in the TVA. So
I'm
I
going
feel like
straight
you
back
missed
to the
a few
TVA
steps
to finish
of
what I
basic
started.
research.
Good.
Also, that the TVA is very badly protected. I understand it's one of those, like, no one knows where we are. We'll never be invaded. But, like, still.
Interdimensional time and space. Jeez.
I'm enjoying this as much as it feels like early Doctor Who when I still liked it. Just a temp pad instead of a TARDIS. Loki is the new companion who doesn't understand how any of this works.
Calling some faded photocopy of me Loki.
I don't want to be called
Because
Loki.
that's not who I am anymore. I'm Sylvie now.
Sylvie?
Oh, you changed your name.
That's-
Brilliant.
It's called, what exactly makes a Loki a Loki?
Independence, authority.
She has the
So
style.
naturally you went to work for the boring, oppressive time.
I work for them. I'm a consultant.
True.
You don't know what you want.
For years in the making plan was to tear the place down, create the ultimate power vacuum, and then just walk away.
Anarchist Loki, let's go. Okay, this apocalypse doesn't look that bad as long as you're not, directly being hit by meteors. Looks like you can just walk. So, guess it wasn't that complicated.
Could that charge the temper?
Maybe.
Then, suspicious.
Hand it over.
Pitiful. I'm not giving it to you. You're gonna have to try harder than that.
Then don't give me your tech-savvy ideas either. The tempad requires a massive power source, not a nightlight.
I was thinking that too. I was like, the open sign for a bar is gonna charge the TARDIS tablet? That didn't make sense to me either, so. I'm very smart. I'm great at interdimensional travel, guys.
Force is no substitute for diplomacy and guile.
Oh, okay. Perhaps he was right about that one.
We mean you no harm. We're simply weary travelers.
Sure you are.
I mean, girl, you're about to die anyway. You can charge up their phone. It doesn't matter. Like, even if you don't directly know you're about to die, I don't believe in the whole, like, once society collapses, we should all just turn on each other. That's super boring and dumb. Like, how do you know what his voice sounds like from a picture?
It's been a long time. You're as beautiful as
Just once, I wanted to be like, the voice was wrong. He didn't talk like that. That nice in 30 years, yeah.
You're gonna travel.
Who cares? The world is ending. Ah, the devil's coming to trick me for my outlet.
The evacuation vessel.
And yet you're here, guarding
Something like that would have enough juice to repower the
nothing, really. A picture of Patrice who wasn't nice to you in 30 years. Season 3 finale. That's specific Doctor Who episode. The end of time? Whatever. The one where they meet Dr. Yana, aka the Master. And they're all trying to fly to Utopia.
My way.
I mean, neither of your ways worked before.
How do I look?
Like someone with a shit plan.
That is a terrible guard uniform. Why does it look like that? I mean, yeah, girl, that's how it works. I'm shocked. They're letting the poor people die. Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Okay. And the tickets? Orders come from the top to get her on this.
Why are you talking like this?
Sir, this... Okay.
Okay. What, like, did that voice do anything to make him more convincing? He's already wearing pajamas.
Plans have multiple steps. Dressing as a guard and getting on a train is just doing a thing.
I mean, you basically had the same plan. He just impersonated a guard and you took over a guard. But you did the same thing. Is there a alt Frigga in her world too?
What was she like?
Yeah, see? They always get soft at the moms.
She was...
An Asgardian who adopted me, and then my betrayal led to her death.
She's good. Purely decent. As young, she'd do these little bits of magic for me.
I'm assuming this is some kind of scheme to be like, oh yes, talk about happy memories with your mom, and then I'm gonna betray you in some way. But for the time being, they actually do need to get to the same location, so there's no like material benefit to getting him all soft and vulnerable in his memories.
Not bad.
That's fun. I would do that all the time.
Sounds like she does.
Did, will in the future.
What was that? Love is hate.
Oh, piss off.
So, on the
I
subject
said
of-
last episode, like, him and Owen Wilson and Mobius was so satisfying because like they were on the same intellectual level. And then this episode, they're like, let's do it up again. Loki against himself. Which is super fun because he's a character who's deeply irritating. So
And with charm like
now they
that,
can just
the
bother
gods
each
are-
other.
Well, people are quite willing in the face of certain doom. How about you? You're a prince. Must have been would-be princesses? Or perhaps another prince?
A bit of both. But nothing ever...
Real.
Seems like your own fault on that end, but sure.
Love is mischief then.
God, we are blessed the show did not come out in like 2012, 2013. Tumblr would have been exhausting.
Right? You relax your way, and I'll relax mine.
Which is another round, please. This is very nice. I'm very happy they put the budget into actually building up. Doctor Who could never, quite literally, their budget would never. And so like, what if someone has the same aesthetics and energy but actually has the budget to make it look good? Ah, this makes me so happy. Okay, that dude looks displeased with our drunken singer in the bar. Are you upset because he's making a scene or upset about the song?
Don't be an arse. I saw some people looking at you weirdly.
What? How'd you get so paranoid?
Oh, I guess it must have started when I spent my entire life running from the omniscient fascists you work for.
Sir, pull it together.
Love is a dagger. It's a weapon
Is it?
to be wielded far away or up close.
Nothing worse than a drunk person suddenly philosophizing at you. Just actually go back to singing. I don't want to hear about this.
Tickets. Yes, of course. Here they are.
Is he still wearing the variant jacket? Hey, Sylvie's hype. She's like, finally, I was getting so bored. I just wanted to beat some ass. Whoa. Did Loki do that? I think this is probably the best action scene so far. It's interesting. I can actually see what's going on.
Awful throw.
R.I.P. I thought she was gonna like I thought she was gonna like grab the dagger and stab the dude behind her, but no. Can you some? I want to know how Tom Hiddleston practices his like when he like gets up from somewhere, when he's falling or when he is thrown, because it's a very specific head throw and that wig does not move, so good for him.
Wow, I had to take quite the tumble.
Okay, but where? I thought he was keeping it like in a pocket dimension or something. It's legit like in his pocket.
I'm hedonistic. That's what I do.
I'm hedonistic. A lot more than you, I assure you.
Do not question me. I fuck. She said she spent her entire life running from the time fascists, but for what reason? It seems like 99% of people wouldn't know they exist. Although it does ask, you know, if you accidentally mess up the timeline and then you're killed, that's a little messed up because you didn't do it on purpose and didn't know it was possible to do that. So is it she like messed up the timeline as like a 5-year-old? That would suck. Also, I vastly prefer hedonistic day drinking Loki. Like, I like that we're again, it's kind of like the what is 2012 Loki to like Ragnarok Loki, and it's like if he's not up his own ass, he just wants to party. Miles breaks the thingamajig.
Never had us on it.
I'm gonna walk to the Ark. Well, it depends.
The Ark and make sure it gets off this moon.
Now that would be a major rewrite of the timeline, which I'm curious because obviously she set off all the little bombs, so the Minutemen have quite a lot to deal with right now, but something like, you know, a diverting of the galactic Titanic seems like something that would cause such a major branch in the timeline. The timeline would be like, oh, we think we found the Lokis, because that is a level of chaos we could not have anticipated and could not have been caused by a little grenade.
I feel like I've told you so much about me, but I really don't know the first thing about you.
Thanks for the tactical advantage.
I need them to be in slightly more immediate danger. Like they were taking fire in the first 10 seconds, and now they're just on a lovely purple stroll. Like what happened to Gravity Quake? Shake them around a little.
In order to preserve the connection, I have to create a fantasy from their memories.
Or you have a strong mind.
Their mind was messed up. I had to pull a memory from hundreds of years prior, before she even fought for them.
Ew.
What did you say?
So you get
Before she joined the
recruited?
TVA.
Yeah, she was just a regular person.
So they're not drones.
I was told that everyone who works at the TVA was created by
Just
the
for the
timekeepers.
TVA.
That's ridiculous. They're all variants, just like us.
They don't know that.
Hey! That makes a lot of sense. So in like 200 years, Loki would be like, oh yeah, I was born and created here. My name's C15 or whatever.
We do, and you can.
I'm like, I knew the TVA had to be based on like some kind of lie. And because it did not make sense to me that drones have personalities. But they're all variants who at some point get recruited for beneficial traits. The same way Loki was, presumably. I mean, there has to have been an original, like, Minutemen, Timekeeper, TVA employee, plural. And then they were like, we need more. Okay, this variant can be of use to us if we don't kill them. And if they're not on any specific timeline, they can't disrupt the sacred timeline. I think it's better than being killed, probably, to be a variant time cop. But, hello. This is the danger I was waiting for. Start setting things on fire. Ooh, he left tinnitus. Okay. Agent, is this the time? Oh my god, they broke into the train and they didn't have tickets. The planet is about to explode. Please get your priorities in order. Fighting these two random people is not gonna save your life, their life, or the world, so... Also, everyone on this planet is humanoid, and that is boring. Humans are the only people who can have a mining colony? I don't like that. Since when? Since when was that a thing? Don't make them blue either. It's too easy. Make them like tie-dye, like 4 eyes, and like tentacles. Ooh, well that's not good. So all those guards thought they were gonna get on the Ark? Because even if the Ark had not been destroyed, I have some bad news for them. If you were on the ground doing crowd control, you were gonna stay there. Wait, what? Where's the rest of the episode? Why is this episode so short? I was having fun with it. Oh, I'm offended. I got used to episodes getting longer over the course of the season and not shorter. I'm like really upset about that. I'm just like, I was like, all right, there's at least 10-15 minutes left, like we're good. Okay. Like I know I'm always just like, wait, what, is that the end? But that genuinely shocked me. Like even though it was, you know, set up like an end of an episode, like, you know, to be continued with, oh my god, the Ark is destroyed, how are they gonna make it out? My brain just wasn't even in that thought. I was just like, yeah, here's the episode, they're gonna, you know, pop into another place and, you know, the timekeepers are gonna catch on to them or something. I was not expecting to be like, oh, we're staying on Lamentis 1 for another episode. At this point it seems the only way they're gonna get off the planet is if the timekeepers find them, but due to the own weakness that he pointed out, you can do any and everything right before an apocalypse and it would not cause a branch in the timeline or any time variance. So if they had successfully diverted the Ark and saved everyone, that would have been a massive branch that would have probably led the Minutemen directly to them, but they didn't, so they failed. Everything they did didn't make a difference. It's not, they're not gonna know where they are. I mean, obviously Mobius has that list of apocalypses of like, okay, where would they probably go now that this one is blown? But even she said, like, this is the worst one. If we don't get out of here, everybody dies. So they might not even think like, oh, well, if they're being smart, they're gonna go somewhere like the hurricane apocalypse where there's food, there's supplies, and there's a bit more of a wait time because they had like 12 hours before they died. Which I guess wouldn't be a problem if you're jumping in and out, but it doesn't have really enough resources to be worth it, and society is kind of collapsing, so it's not like, oh, I'll just hang out here for a little bit, get my food, get my nap, and go. Like, it's not a good spot for that. So I feel like Mobius has to be the one to find them because he's spent time studying this variant. That's his whole job, is to study Sylvie and figure out how she acts, how she thinks. Although it seems very much like he's been thinking of her as a spin-off of the Loki that we know, making moves that the Loki that we know would make, even though obviously her whole thing is like, no, I've been, you know, on the run my entire life. She thinks like someone's been on the run her entire life. She's not power hungry. She's more just, I want to destroy this corrupt organization. And they're not treating her like that. They're treating her like any other spoiled, power hungry Loki. So it seems like they're just really bad at their jobs. But you know, cops. I can't, why was this episode so short? The whole episode, I'm like, this is Doctor Who. We're watching Marvel Doctor Who. And it ended like a Doctor Who episode. Which, if it's a Doctor Who episode, in the first 3 seconds of the next episode, Mobius is gonna find them and they're gonna escape. And Mobius is gonna be like, oh my god, you're the bad guy. I thought we could trust you. And then he's gonna be like, you've been lied to your whole life. Everyone who works there is a variant. And then they're all gonna team up to take down Sean Pegg and the news organization or whatever. I am really enjoying this. I think going in, it wasn't my most anticipated show because I really was like, yeah, I want fucking Winter Soldier, and Sam's gonna become Cap, and WandaVision, and like, is Wanda gonna be the villain again and again and again? Anyway, I was thinking so much about like the future of the MCU and like where is it all going, and I've been enjoying so much that this show does not do any of that, and we just get to vibe, and like we're being introduced to elements that are obviously going to play a huge part in the future, and the idea of the multiverse and the idea of people trying to constrain it one way or the other. But the fact that we just get to have a fun character who gets to bounce around and give us our own little sci-fi adventure show without any of the like ground brick. Yeah, she blew up the sacred timeline, which, you know, is supposed to be an apocalyptic event that ends time and space and everything, but like that's not gonna happen. So I'm just having a lot of fun. Like, this doesn't have as many consequences, and I'm really enjoying that. I like not being tied to anything. I think the biggest thing that's gonna come out of this is just some confirmation one way or the other of, is the TVA a fascistic organization that is keeping a lock on the timeline when it should be allowed to be free and expand and multiversal, and they're actually doing something horrible? Or, I mean, probably, yes. It seems like the logical one. Can we fully trust that Sylvie's perspective is the ultimately, indisputably correct one? Probably not. But, you know, it did seem
suspicious. That's weird.
That the multiverses were inherently at conflict. Like, why couldn't they just overlap? Because, like, what's the difference between a multiverse and just like another timeline? Because when we had Endgame with the ancient one, Tilda Swinton, she was talking about, you know, if you don't put the Infinity Stones in the right place, your timeline remains unchanged, but it'll create a new branching timeline that is freaking horrible. So theoretically, that would happen, but then the timekeepers would immediately kill that branch, and then it doesn't matter anyway. Although it doesn't make sense, because there has to be an alternate timeline, because Steve Rogers' time jumpy business does not work unless he created an alternate timeline where he's with Peggy, and now there's an alternate America, alternate planet, where he's like, all right, Peggy, now that I'm back, I'm actually like 20 years, I'm like, no, not 20 years. It's like, I'm actually like 10 years older than the Steve that just died. Anyway, we need to go save Bucky. Also, like, maybe help black people. I have a friend named Sam, and like, who's gonna be born in like 30 years, and it kind of sucks for him. So we should probably do something about that. Because the alternative is that he just was a house husband for the next 50 years until it was time to deliver the shield. And no, 70 years. That's an absolutely incomprehensible concept, and it's boring, and it's completely antithetical to his character, and it doesn't make sense. So there has to be an alternate timeline, which means alternate timelines need to be able to exist. And if that's not proof, that's just me wanting my theory to be right, which it is, then oh well. But it's what I choose to believe, and because of that, I'm gonna assume that there's supposed to be multiple timelines. It is good and right, and that the TVA is obstructing that and doing something bad. Because, oh yeah, also just why are 3 random all-powerful deities determining what is right and good? That doesn't make sense. It completely, as Loki points out, it completely eliminates the concept of free will, and having the character who keeps saying free will is a curse, it's a burden, no one actually wants it, they just want to be told what to do. So yeah, for him, he's like, great, now I get to work for the people who have the ultimate control. But it would literally mean every living being has no free will. If they do a single thing out of step with what some 3 people in a conference room have determined to be correct, they get killed immediately. Like, that is the ultimate fascistic organization. So yeah, I'm excited for this. If everyone is a variant, I feel like it can't be everyone. There has to be some originals who like were there from the beginning. So maybe that's gonna be Renslayer's position as like one of the actual original creations of the Timekeepers, and she's just keeping everyone in line. And maybe that's what's gonna be what like B-15 and Mobius, like we're gonna start seeing those characters like get access to their memories and realize that they once were people. This is good. Like, I feel like this introduced a whole new direction for the show. It almost was kind of like a Mad Max thing. Like, oh, we have to escape the TVA, and then it's like, actually, U-turn. We're going right back. We need to tell everyone that they've been lied to and that this whole thing is a facade. Well, that's not what happens in Mad Max, but it's the U-turny nature of it is what reminded me of that. Either way, I'm having a really good time with this show. I think there's a lot to dissect with it, but I'm only talking to myself, so I'm probably forgetting something that I wanted to talk about. If you have something you want to talk about, please comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you don't want to do that, but you watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you. I still really appreciate you. You can follow me on Twitter at LeahSeesMovies, and I will catch you next time. Peace.